Hello guys, King Happy here, and welcome to my Mobweb timers. And these are just timers. They're not a new concept at all. Using them survival is a different concept, but they've been around for a long time, but not in this form. So I've been playing with these because I want a long timer for something in my Let's Play, a farm. But I don't want to do loads and loads of redstone. Redstone is unreliable. And normally mobs are unreliable as well, but as of snapshot 50A, we're 50B now, then they fixed mobs glitching through blocks and through stairs and through fences and such. So that shouldn't be a problem anymore, so they won't glitch out into a block when you log in and log out, in theory. In practice, I'm not sure yet, but these designs are working so far. So this one here is just on my new spawn world, new test world. So this basically just resets the time. There you are. So down here, there's different ways of activating it. I've got tripwire going across here as they fall. So you can have a long pulse on for a while if you want, and I've got another one here. And then all the point of these is basically there is a fall, and then a go along with water, mob lift, and then back down again. That's the whole theory of it. They're infinite looping timers. So I've had lots of problems designing these, and this one at the end is the finished product, which is, so far in testing, it's working perfectly. And I'll go through quickly the problems you have with this, so in case you want to build your own design. Down the bottom and the top, you need at least a 2 wide area for your water. You have your source block and then the block it flows into. This gives the mob momentum to go this way, or this way along the bottom. What you got here, I was trying to get different ways for them to get up. If you have block, say you have a block, you want to put a block in front of that one. So if I move him, you want to put a block there. Then they'll get stuck going down here. Using a ladder doesn't help because they have a hitbox on them. It's much better to use a sign, but still they weren't working perfectly in that. And up here, you can't have a cobweb above the block where they come up. So this water chute, you can't have one where that tripwire is. Makes good space for a tripwire though, as a detector as they come up, but that's just how it works. You can't do it otherwise, they get stuck. And another thing, if I just grab one of them and a bucket of water, a lot of you will know that cobwebs don't like water. So you've got to keep your cobwebs away from the water itself. That's why I've got signs here, and then signs for the mob elevator is a separate thing together. And the more cobwebs you put in, the longer they take. So this one here is quite a tall one, and I can make this much longer if I want to, in the same size. And this is just a 3-minute one basically. The timings are not exact, I would have to say, and it's a minute and a half. So I wouldn't quote them on it. I've done some rough timings for them, minute 8 seconds. And as you see here, you've got a problem here with this block. So I didn't like too wide piece of water. There was issues with it. And there's so many visual glitches with this, they do actually go around fine. That one probably actually was working fine. But I did have problems having a block here. So I went on and changed it around to go to a circulating one. So the problem was that this is as short height-wise as you can make it, having a mob going across and underneath. You'd only have one block clearance in between, and that one block would have to be holding up some water. So half slabs would work, but then they wouldn't be able to climb up very well. So it was a bit iffy. So I went to moving it around, so I didn't need to have a problem with the block above it, because it's actually supporting the rest of it. You don't actually need one in here at all, as you can see through it. It makes it also a little bit longer for the same sort of area, which is quite nice. So this one was about 2:25. And welcome to the final design, which so far has been working perfectly. And you can have multiple outputs for this. I've got pressure plate under there, and I've also got the pressure plate over here. Nice way of getting the output. And this one over here is actually on a fence to make it a little bit more efficient on this side. Over here you can't put it on a fence because it doesn't work, especially underwater. So that's just under a solid block. And how I combated other things in this, I put half slabs underneath here. They're 3 wide, so that there is enough time for the mob to come down vertically before it starts getting caught in the water, because before they'll come down and start getting caught in the water and then push against this half slab here. So it gives enough time to fall down, and I've put soul sand underneath everything I can, apart from the 2 sensor blocks. and see soul sand here, and what that does is stops them from jumping as much, also slows them down a little bit, not very much because the cobwebs are already doing most of it, and you'll see the visual glitches a lot, but it works perfectly. And this one I counted as just about 3 minutes exactly, and it might vary a little bit depending on how the mobs try and walk around. You can also use villagers or any other mob you actually want, so skeletons. You can use creepers and stuff if you want to, if you keep them active. But these are persistent mobs, and that's basically because you can now give zombies skeletons and wither skeletons, and even some with pigmen actually. I know they do hold wither skulls on themselves. Then you can keep these forever, and things where they're persistent mobs, so this zombie may detract from the overall mob cap of the world, so do be careful of that. You need quite a lot of them to actually get near that. So I think it's about 200 overall will hit your mob cap, so you can only have 77 hostiles. These are not hostiles anymore, not under the game rules. So as long as you don't have more than 130 timers on your world, then you should be okay. And otherwise you can choose a villager. I haven't really tested the villagers, but I like to use these mobs more, just for the effect. So this is very reliable, 3 minute, and I wanted this for a farm. I'm doing my Let's Play world, that's why I'm doing this, and also the glass on top of here stops them jumping out, also stops them bobbing up and down and getting out the water stream. So that's a nice way of doing that as well. And like I said, it's about 3 minutes, nice compact. Compared to any sort of redstone design for 3 minutes, this is incredibly small. I'm not saying there isn't a design that is smaller than this, but redstone is unreliable normally, loading, unloading chunks. Sometimes, I know they fix a lot of bugs, but I'd rather have something like this. It's much more fun as well. And what I'm going to do is hook this up to a T flip-flop and a pulse limiter. So there's no redstone in the actual design itself, just redstone on the outputs. You can do whatever you want in the outputs. This is just showing the output. And what I'm going to do is put it up to a bud switch, T flip-flop, when they go around once. So for the first 3 minutes, as soon as he hits it, for 3 minutes it will be on the T flip-flop. That will send out a pulse and activate the thing I want, just once. They come around again and turn it off. T flip-flop turns off, so the signal's off. And then when it goes around again for 3 minutes, then it will turn back on. So effectively, it will turn on my circuit every 6 minutes, which is exactly what I wanted for my farm, because I have a lot of pistons in my farm and I don't want it going off all the time. It'd be more efficient if it goes off less often, so I can get more produce, and of course less lag. So as you see here, they bob up and down and they go up. So I might do a tutorial on this, and once I know it's perfect, I'll probably spend quite a few hours just watching it and leaving it on a world just to make sure it works. And of course you can get these cobwebs legitly now, and they are in the game. They are here to stay. But hope you find this interesting. See what you come up with, if you have any ideas. I think I've got this working perfectly. I will just test it though. And hopefully that's given you some ideas of things you can do. You can do all sorts of things, different detectors, such as this one over here. You can have different parts of it. You can have them channel around in little mazes and things and set off different sensors, do different lights and things, mini games, PvP games. Great fun, especially with persistent mobs. So hope it's given you a few ideas to think about, and hope you've enjoyed this. So I'll be happy, and I'll see you again next time.